there's a contradiction here just on the question of COVID. Is COVID really dangerous, or is it just not that big a deal? Right now, the left is implicitly telling us both at the same time because they're changing their argument depending on their political point of view. But Fauci, he's sticking to his story. Dr. Fauci is saying that the pandemic is so bad right now that your kid, very likely, maybe he'll be able to go to summer camp, maybe he won't. You're going to have to monitor this situation very carefully, and probably he shouldn't play outside.
Can they send their kids to summer camp? Can they allow them to play again on playgrounds?
You know, it is conceivable that that will be possible, Margaret, because what we're seeing is, you know, as you just mentioned on the piece, we now have 3 to 3.5 million vaccinations each day. If we keep up at that pace, invariably, that's going to drive the rate and the level of infections per day to a much, much lower level. If we get into the summer and you have a considerable percentage of the population vaccinated, and the level in the community gets below that plateau that's worrying me and my colleagues in public health, it is conceivable that you would have a good degree of flexibility during the summer, even with the children, with things like camps. We don't know that for sure, but I think that's an aspirational goal that we should go for.
It is conceivable that if you do every single thing I tell you to do in perpetuity, maybe I'll let little Johnny go outside for half an hour in the sun. It's an aspirational goal.
It's an aspirational goal. How about we just do it? How about, I'm no expert, I don't have very fancy medical degrees. I think that the kids can play outside. Actually, I've got some empirical data here, which is since the beginning of the reign of Fauci, beginning last March, I've 99.9% of the time ignored everything he said. I've had to acquiesce because I need to, say, travel somewhere on an airplane, and I've made a prudential calculation and said, okay, it's better that I put the stupid mask on for a second and fly to this place and give a speech about how terrible Fauci is than not do that, right? But I'm not acquiescing in the sense that I think he's right. I've never really thought the guy was right. I've just been living my life normally and ignoring all of his dumb guidelines, and I'm fine. Not saying I couldn't come down with the Wu flu or something, and that would be unfortunate. But I'm just looking at the science here, and the risk is pretty low, and the risk to children is infinitesimally low. So, following the science here, it would seem that the kids can go out and play, and they should have been able to do that from the very beginning. But what Fauci's making here is not a scientific argument. He's making a political argument. Right? She's asking, is it okay for kids to go play? And he goes, look, it's conceivable if you do all this other stuff I want. If we get the numbers down, what do we mean if we get the public numbers down? What does the public numbers in California matter to a kid in New York? If the kid is vaccinated, or if he's even not vaccinated, but his parents are vaccinated, those are specific cases. But what Fauci's doing is he's holding the individual cases as an incentive, and saying you need to get the public matter. You all need to obey what I'm telling you to do. And then maybe in your individual cases, which are disconnected from the public matter broadly, then maybe I'll let you and your kids go out and play. And when I say, he's not just talking about summer camp, he's actually talking about letting your kids go out and play. He says that if you let your kids go out and play, they should wear a mask.
Yeah, the children can clearly wind up getting infected. When we talk about what you can do when you're vaccinated, you can certainly have members of a family, if the adults are vaccinated, and you're in the home with your child, you don't need to wear a mask and you can have physical contact. When the children go out into the community, you want them to continue to wear masks when they're interacting with groups from multiple households.
Nah, I don't want them to do that, actually. So, I mean, sweet little June, he's like 2 months old now, so he's not going to go out and see a lot of people. But if I had older children right now, I certainly would not have them wear a mask. I would not listen to anything that this power-mad sociopath has to say. I just don't care. The guy has admitted to misleading people on this issue. The idea that anyone feels that he still has credibility is just patently absurd to me. I hope you enjoyed that clip from The Michael Knowles Show. To check out the full episode, hit the link in the description or download The Michael Knowles Show wherever you listen to podcasts.